WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in to Wolo and Friends. Bryant Dacus, Zach Boyd with you again. Dave Lotion, he'll be back very soon and take things back over. But we're still here with you. Plenty to get to today. We had two really fun and interesting NBA games last night. That's what we'll probably talk a lot about today. We had some baseball last night, a lot of different things to discuss. But I do want to start off and spent a lot of time talking about these two games last night. We started off with the Knicks and the Pacers in what was a really fun back-and-forth game. Both teams really getting after it and, went down to the wire, and the Garden was absolutely rocking. I think that's what you want to see in the Garden, and something that I think the Knicks have tried to get going there for the last couple of years, but it hasn't seemed like they've been able to sustain it. And now maybe, on the start of something with what they did last night, a 121-117 win over the Indiana Pacers. Jalen Brunson was awesome, as always. 43 points for him, and added 6 rebounds and 6 assists. So he was really good. Pacers played well, I thought. Tyrese Halliburton, I've seen some people saying he had a bad game. He was, 2 for 6. I think, you want him to be better than that. But I did not think he had a bad game. I thought he played well. Just maybe didn't do a great job scoring, which, is certainly something that you want your star to do in the NBA. But Zach, what did you make of this first game in the Garden? I thought it was awesome. Got me super excited and amped up for the second game that was much different from this game. We'll talk about that one in a second. But what did you make of the Knicks taking a 1-0 lead in this series?
Yeah, it's, Brunson
he's incredible.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He a dog. He's one of them ones.
He sure is.
You knew the points are going to be scored.
Mm-hmm.
You're just hoping that, some questionable calls here and there doesn't, take over the game. And I think for the most part, that was the case. Yeah, you could have made the exception, or you could have maybe not called an offensive foul on Miles Turner. But then on the flip side, could have called an offensive foul on Isaiah Hartenstein.
Sure.
So I think it was for the most part it was fairly clean until the last few seconds.
Sure.
But I think overall, that first game was really good.
Yeah.
And the Garden, you could tell when the Knicks finally when the buzzer sound, you kind of just see the Garden erupting.
Oh, it was awesome. And that's what the Garden should be for Knicks basketball games. And so it's good to see it, getting there this playoffs, and hopefully they can sustain that, especially if Brunson continues to do what he's doing and they carry that over into next year. I think the Garden's going to be a fun place throughout even the regular season. But, I thought late in the game was just so much fun. I think both teams making winning plays when it mattered. I think there was a couple plays on with Indiana's defense where they forced turnovers. I saw they kept throwing up numbers about all of the turnovers that the Pacers had. That the Knicks had. They were just turning the ball over left and right late in the game. And there was that one play where Brunson has it, and he's kind of trapped along the sideline, and he jumps up and tries to throw it off of Halliburton. It hits off Halliburton, but then it hits off of who did I say it was? Brunson. It hit off of Brunson while Brunson was standing out of bounds. And I mean, the look that Tyrese Halliburton gives and starts yelling, it hit him, and they said it hit him, and so it was the Pacers' ball. And then even on the other side, you brought it up, Zach, the offensive foul that was called late in that game on Indiana on the moving screen. I mean, and I know this might not be a favorable take for many people, but I got to give DiVincenzo credit on that. I mean, sold it like you got to sell it. Call it a flop if you want, but that is winning basketball play. I mean, you go down like that, you sell it a little bit. You're in New York, City of Stars, and you sell it a little bit more, and you get the call, and you win the game. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, credit to him for making the official make the call. There was a little bit of movement, and that's why I say it was kind of on the fence.
Sure.
But there was a little bit of movement from Miles Turner,
Right.
which I could see that from a ref standpoint, where like, okay, like he's moving his left side into the guy,
right,
as he's trying to get around, in a sense. But it's just one of those calls where it's like,
it's certainly
if it's
a call
there,
I
you
could have
gotta
done
call it
without late in that
right.
big time moment.
Right, like if it's there, you gotta call
Sure.
it. But if you don't call it, is it that
Right.
crucial of a play?
Yeah.
It just depends. Like it's really depends. That's a real judgment call.
And now what I hate about this is, like, I've already seen it, of like people going back and finding, here's an illegal screen that the Knicks set that wasn't called, a couple minutes before this one was called. Why wasn't it called? I'm like, all right, we can't start nitpicking everything, because you can nitpick the entire game. And what officials do. It's a very, very difficult job for officials. But no, it was a fun game. I hated at the end. I mean, you get down to where Indiana tries to get a quick 2-for-1, and we go down to the so then the Knicks get the ball back. They, I guess, call a timeout. They are inbounding it from the side, and I think it was Nimhard, maybe, who fouled Jalen Brunson before the inbound pass.
Yeah.
And so it resulted in a technical, and so he goes up to the line, knocks down that shot. They get the ball back. Then they have to foul at that point. Instead of making it a 3-point game, which would have been if they had just fouled him, it became a 4-point game, and then the game was over. I was really hoping we would get down to like a 3-point game, and then maybe set up for like a Halliburton 3 or something like that to tie the game. That's
if the Knicks decide they want to foul before.
Well, that's
they get
true.
The ball
That's
off.
a very good point. Which I think they even said on the broadcast last night that the Knicks usually fouled to send them to the line and not have to risk a 3-point shot. But I really didn't. I think we made picks yesterday afternoon on Sportstime for this series, and I picked the New York Knicks, and I still feel good about the Knicks winning this series. But I think if people thought that the Pacers were just going to lay down, and they just beat the Bucks last series without Giannis and Dame, and that this isn't going to be a matchup, like, get ready, buckle up, because I think this is going to be a fun series. Indiana's a good team. They've got some really good pieces. Halliburton is going to play much better than he did last night, which, again, I still thought he played well. 6 points, 8 assists, 4 steals. He's going to have better stat lines than that. And the thing about Tyrese Halliburton is, and you saw it last night, I think, he does so much that affects the game that doesn't show up in the stat sheet.
Yeah.
I was watching this video, I think it was on YouTube, that was like breaking down his film through the first round, and it was incredible to like watch how he draws a defense, how Indiana uses pick and rolls to get guys open, and Tyrese Halliburton is finding somebody, but it's not the guy that he's finding. It's a hockey assist, and so he's getting it to that guy, and because Halliburton was so open and that guy was open, now everyone's crashing to that guy, and it's leaving this other guy wide open, and they're making the shot. And so the way he's spacing the floor and facilitating and running the offense, a lot of times doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And so I thought he played well last night. I think he's going to play much better throughout the series. I think Brunson's going to continue to play great. and that's going to be a big thing of this New York Knicks team. I know he gets a lot of the shine, but I mean, look at his that Villanova group that they've got. I mean, Hart was great last night with 24 points. DiVincenzo was awesome last night, knocked down 5 3-pointers for them. One that was massive late in the game. DiVincenzo kind of took over late in the game. He took that, that shot that, he kind of flopped a little bit on, but sold it and got the foul and then knocks down a 3 on the other end. So he was massive late in that game to secure that win. And, neither of these teams, I would say, certainly the Knicks don't. Knicks don't really use the bench. They'll bring McBride and Robinson off the bench. Precious gets a couple of minutes off the bench. But it's going to be those 5 that start the game that are going to give you all of your minutes pretty much. I mean, last night looking at it, 42 minutes for OG, 44 minutes for Brunson, 48 minutes for Hart, 44 minutes for DiVincenzo. Isaiah Hartenstein was the only player that did not play 40 minutes in the starting lineup. He played 36 minutes, and you had Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride both get about 12 minutes off the bench. So they're going to rely heavily on those 5 starters.
Yeah. Now, he just shrunk the rotation down to 7 guys.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I think when you have Brunson playing as well as he's playing, when you have DiVincenzo and Josh Hart playing as well as they're playing, like, it's hard not to. OG Anunoby is a certified star in this league. Like, it's hard to not keep those guys on the court. And so I don't blame them. I don't think these guys will tire out, but on the other side, I mean, you're seeing the Pacers pretty much run a full bench out there. Obi Toppin, 19 minutes. Isaiah Jackson, 13 minutes. TJ McConnell, 22 minutes. Ben Shepherd, 18 minutes off the bench. So, I mean, that's going to be the interesting thing going forward. And shout out Ben Shepherd. He's played a nice role for this Pacers team. Got a lot of minutes last night. The I believe rookie from Belmont. So that was a fun story to watch him get in there last night and get 18 minutes, score 8 points. So that was cool, but that was a really fun first game. I think it's going to be a really, really fun series, and I'm excited to see how this one plays out. But obviously, I think any team that wins a series in the East, it's like, oh, yeah, we won our series, but now we got to face the Boston Celtics, and that's very scary. But I do think I would love to see the Knicks versus the Celtics if we get there for the conference championship, or for the conference final. I think that would be a lot of fun. The second game last night, Zach, was really, I think, the more interesting of the two because the Minnesota Timberwolves, without Rudy Gobert, who was welcoming the birth of his child last night, which congratulations for him and his girlfriend, but he was not in the building. They even said on the broadcast before the game started, he's not even in the state of Denver. He's back home with his girlfriend, even without Rudy Gobert.
Home as in Minnesota or home as in France?
You know what, Zach? They didn't specify that. I'm going to guess Minnesota, but hey, you never know. Now, that's a good question because now you got to worry about jet lag when he comes back.
Yeah.
Is he going to be ready to go for Game 3? But good Lord, Zach. I did not expect this last night. Timberwolves 106-80 over the Nuggets, like we said, without Rudy Gobert. They are just dominating the series. I mean, for the first time in the last 2 years, this is the first time that you can actually see Denver is doesn't know what to do. They're scared. They didn't expect this, and now they're down 2-0. And we even got to the point last night where somebody on the Nuggets bench threw a heating pad on the court during the game, and then late in the game, Jamal Murray threw his towel, tried to throw his towel on the court, but it was short. And you saw one of their team managers quickly grabbed it so nobody would see. I mean, frustration levels are very high for Denver right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is Denver doesn't play a heavy physical style of play. So when you get a team like the Timberwolves, who, and obviously athleticism, being 6'6", predicates on physicality.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns, we know that he will throw a couple elbows at
Sure.
you. You know, Jaden McDaniels, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Mike Conley being an underrated defender himself, Nas Reed. Like, they got a lot of guys that can make life difficult. And I just think that it's just something that they got to adjust and got to figure out.
Sure.
I'm not saying that this series is going to be a gentleman's sweep or a sweep in itself.
I don't think so either.
But the Nuggets got to figure something out. There's no way in the world like you could let this team out physical you, and then you just being down by double digits. Like the difference between this series and the Lakers series, the Lakers, they played defense and they were getting out in transition.
Yeah.
But they weren't as physical with the Nuggets. Not as physical as the Wolves are with them.
Yeah.
The Wolves are being more physical with them, and they're getting out in transition, and they're scoring in half court offense. And they're locking down your best guy.
I mean, it's incredible. I think we knew all season how good this Minnesota defense was. And was certainly a big reason of why they were, constantly battling for that top position in the Western Conference. But I think last night was when everyone was like, oh, this defense is this good. Like, this defense is this legit. Like, last night on the broadcast, those guys could not stop talking about the defense. When they went to, the TNT crew with Shaq and Kenny and those, they could not stop talking about the defense. I think it's because they're going up against the big bad Nuggets and this team that just won the finals last year and has Nikola Jokic, and nobody seems to know how to stop Jokic. And now seemingly Minnesota has the answers, and it's interesting to see. And now Denver's back's completely against the wall, down 2-0, and have to go on the road and at least win one game, which I think they will. But I'm only saying that because it's the Denver Nuggets. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, yeah, this is gonna be tough to win a game.
Yeah.
But since it's the Nuggets, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But the Timberwolves are just so long. I mean, we know their bigs have length, but then you've got their guards that are all extremely long and physical, like you said. I mean, they're just out physicaling the Nuggets, and it's making it impossible for them. And then you throw in Ant Edwards in there and what he's doing as a player. And, I mean, I guess you could say, kind of a quiet game for Anthony Edwards last night with 27 points, of what we were getting used to. Kind of quiet night, which is crazy to say. Because he did, score 27 points and add 7 assists. So it was a weird game to watch. And I've got to say, Nas Reed, who just won Sixth Man of the Year, they just awarded that, a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That story's awesome in itself. A guy that this past offseason, I think there was a story I read, I think in The Athletic, where it was either right when he won it or right before he won it. And, everyone knew, Nas Reed's going to win Sixth Man of the Year. So he did a story on him, and, they were talking about, either this past offseason or at some point, he had a decision to make. He was like, I could go somewhere else and maybe be a starter, get a ton of minutes, or I could stay here and be a role player. And ultimately, he was like, I like being here. I like Minnesota. I like this team. I like my teammates. I think we're building to do something special. I'm going to stay here. And now has, carved out a role for himself that has gotten him Sixth Man of the Year. He's coming off the bench and giving them great minutes all season long. And you just don't see a ton of that. And a guy like Nas Reed, to be able to say, yeah, maybe I won't, go and try to be a starter somewhere. And even last night, you didn't have one of your bigs. You didn't have Rudy Gobert, and they still brought him off the bench. So I love the role he's playing. He's giving him great minutes, 29 minutes last night off the bench, 14 points, 4 blocked shots for him. So he was awesome. And then late in the game, we got to see Josh Minot run out there and get a couple minutes late in the game because it was just such a blowout.
Yeah.
Game was in hand. We got to see both him and Luka Garza, the former Iowa big man, former National Player of the Year in college basketball. Got to see them go out there and get some good minutes. So that was a fun storyline. Josh Minot even hit a 3 in the closing seconds. So that's great.
Ooh.
Josh Minot, want the best 3-point shooter here in Memphis.
No.
What do you shoot here, man? I'm curious now.
It wasn't 30-something. I can
Oh,
tell you
man. The Josh Minot era at Memphis was something. Let me tell you.
It's a lot of mixed reviews.
It was a lot of he needs to be playing more, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it was a different time. Let's see. Josh Minot college stats. Josh Minot shot 14% from 3.
Yep.
14. I'm glad he knocked one down last night. Average, where is his?
That was with the Timberwolves, right? Or this is with the Tigers?
This is with the Tigers. I can pull up his Timberwolves
Yeah.
stats. Josh Minot.
Yeah, this was kind of crazy.
Let's
His
see.
time here.
See, he's not playing much for the Timberwolves. 32 games this season, shooting 40% from 3.
Well, how many
Obviously,
attempts?
I was about to say, obviously small sample size. Let's see.
Because the attempts got to be low if he's not getting playing time.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, he's not getting many. Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely, like 0. He took, of course, it's not going to show me a complete total. He did not shoot a lot, is what I'm going to say. Did not shoot a lot. So, yeah. So, he's 40% while shooting basically nothing. 0.3 3-point attempts per game. So.
Not even, that's a less than an attempt?
Yeah. Yeah, 0.3. Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah. So he's not, I mean, he's not playing a lot. I wish I could find like his
Per 36,
well,
per 100?
not even that. I would just like to see his like G League stats. I was trying to figure out their name. They're like the maybe Iowa Timberwolves. I don't know.
What's the Iowa Energy or Iowa Wolves?
Maybe the Iowa Wolves.
I think it's the Iowa
That's it.
Wolves.
I think that's it. I think he's spending a lot of time there. But good for him. I'm glad he's, on an NBA bench. I'm glad he's, being able to experience playoffs and getting a couple of minutes here and there. I haven't looked. I don't think Amani's been on the bench for the Cavaliers. But I'll have to look. Maybe he is, being a two-way guy.
Yeah, two-way players cannot be on the
Oh, they
bench.
can't? No, okay, interesting.
Yeah, they're not eligible for the playoffs.
I didn't know that means Josh Minot's on a standard deal. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they took him in the second round. They gave him the 4-year deal.
Really?
Yeah.
They didn't make him a two-way?
Yeah, because he wasn't on a two-way.
I this whole time thought he was on a two-way.
No.
How about that?
He was just buried deep in the
Interesting.
bench.
Huh. Interesting. Well, that's something I learned today because I could have sworn up and down, but you're absolutely right. I completely forgot that two-way guys can't be on the bench. So those were two fun games last night. For the Nuggets now, I don't know what you do. That starting lineup was just not very good. Couldn't really get anything going. Jamal Murray 3 for 18 last night from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. It was just incredible. At one point, he was like 0 for 11 from the field to start the game. I think that was like in the second quarter. So he really struggled. This Nuggets team really struggled. Shot 34% from the field, 30% from 3 on the other side. Timberwolves, 50% from the field, nearly 40% from 3. So a really, really good game from them. Well, we need to get to a break after covering both those games from last night. So let's get a quick break. When we come back, we'll preview both of tonight's games a little bit, both these game ones in their series, Mavericks versus Thunder, Cavs versus Celtics. We'll talk about that next. Stick with us. You're listening to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe. Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Well, Zach, you might remember